Thursday, Plus Sports. So welcome on the show. My name is Wale Scott, and today, of course, what we're waiting for today, Super Eagles take on CAR. And of course, you heard about, I still don't understand why we're going to have to lock down the whole of the Sule around the testing Balogun Stadium from 12 o'clock, 12 noon, for a match that will start at 5 o'clock. My opinion, though, I don't know. The Super Eagles will hope to maintain a perfect start to their 2022 World Cup qualifying campaign as they welcome Central African Republic to the Testing Balogun Stadium, Lagos, on match day 3 of the qualifiers today. Nigeria are in pole position to make it out of Group C after picking 2 wins from their opening 2 games and boast a significantly stronger crop of players heading into the game. The 3-time African champions begin their quest for a 7th appearance at the tournament, where they claimed a 2-0 victory over Liberia in Lagos last month. Genora's men then made it a 2nd consecutive victory after seeing off a resilient Cape Verde 2-1 at their Stadio Municipal Aderito Shun 4 days later. Meanwhile, Central African Republic kicked off their hunt for a maiden appearance at the World Cup on a relatively impressive note as they held Cape Verde 1-1 on September 1st. However, Lefebvre's failed to build on that performance and fell 1-0 to Liberia at the Stade de la Réunification Douala, Cameroon 5 days later. Now, Raul Savoy's side have failed to taste victory in any of their last 8 games in all competitions, picking up 2 draws and losing 6 times since the 2-0 win over Burundi back in November 2019. Not taking anything for granted, Raw was named a 23-man squad for their home and away qualifying games against CAR, including the likes of Victor Osimhen, William Troost Ekong, Moses Simon, and Hamed Musa. Bukayo Tinubu, welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, how would you react to this
Lineup?
lineup? Yeah.
Well, obviously no single home.
Yeah, we'll come to that later, yeah?
Yeah, but it's a strong enough squad that we should win. We should win, and anything less than a win would be a disappointment. And if we win, then we finish the group on top and we've qualified. So anything less than a win, like I said, problematic if it turns out that Raw gets his tactics wrong. Because these are the kinds of games that we should win, but sometimes we often drop points against a team that everyone expects us to go ahead and beat. I hope...
Complacency is always our problem.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't take place. I hope this match, we don't think that the job is already done and we just...
Okay, now, Seun Ajidagba, I have him on the phone. Seun, good morning.
Good morning, Wale. It's a pleasure joining you on the show.
We're talking about Gennaro Raw later today. He has a relatively decent squad against CAR today.
Well, you mentioned CAR. And when you want to pronounce CAR, it's called car.
Yeah.
If the Super Eagles cannot drive that car recklessly, then there is no point calling them the Super Eagles. We are 34th in the world, and Central African Republic are ranked 124. I know rankings sometimes don't play football, but we have a golf in class over the Central African Republic. They are last on the log with 1 point, and we are topping. Nothing short of 6 points from the 2 legs is what we are expecting from the foreign-based Super Eagles. We are playing in Cameroon. They are not playing in Central African Republic. So I expect them to beat them still in here and also go to Cameroon to beat them. I hate when I hear they are no longer minnows in football. They are still minnows in football. It's only when the giants are sleeping that make the minnows cause an upset. You saw when the Falconet taught Central African Republic a footballing lesson. That's how to beat to a pop, beat somebody like the toe. That's how to do things. Confirm your supremacy.
Okay, Seun, stay with us. Mixed reactions have trailed the decision of Super Eagles coach Gennaro Raw to exclude Nigerian Professional Football League players from the team's list for the 2022 World Cup qualifying doubleheader against the Central African Republic. No player in the local league made it into the 23-man list for the games, and Kwara United captain Chris Nwanze ruled the missed opportunity by the MPFL players to gain experience with the national team. Enugu Rangers midfielder Kevin Itoya said he wasn't surprised the coach once again excluded the home-based players from his squad. New Remo Stars player Dayo Ojo also said the coach shouldn't be blamed totally for the exclusion of the MPFL players. There are no small teams in football again, Ojo said. Now, Seun Ajidagba, Ojo is a player. He says there are no more minnows in football anymore. But our home-based players are complaining, saying not one home-based player could make that 23-man squad. How do we improve our league when we can't even expose these guys to matches like this?
Okay, so I always have this saying that if you don't try your own, who will? In the Nigerian league, we have good players. What we don't have is administrators. And that's where the likes of Seun Diko, the likes of Amadou Phoenix, to be ashamed of themselves that they have put us in this situation. You remember when the season was about to start, even your sports minister was blabbing and saying General must incorporate local based players, nothing less than 4 or 5, all na talk, no action. The thing is, you must make the league viable. Wale, yesterday I was watching the PSL have their conclusion of awards. Even on the jerseys of the referees, we have sponsors. And then one annoying show people will come and be telling me we are modeling our league behind the Spanish La Liga. I like to show people, with all due respect, please shut up. Model your league after Egyptian league, league like the South African league. Don't jump to say you are modeling your league after the Spanish La Liga. Because I've always said it that if the players in the MPFL play on good surfaces and have security in place and have proper remuneration, so that the referee can go about doing his job without fear or favour, he will still the best from this boy.
Okay, Seun, slow down. Mukail, Seun,
he had close to 13 free kicks scored in the MPFL. When was the last time a Super Eagles player scored from a free kick except kick? You will not blame them. You will not blame the players at all. Look at our travelling arrangement. Very sturdy and annoying. A team will be coming from Maiduguri to Lagos. They will be going by road. Look at all the insurgency, the banditry, the kidnapping that happened. And these players still come on the field to give their best. And somebody will be somewhere talking rubbish.
Okay, Seun, please. I feel Seun, please. I feel your pain too, but I really feel Seun's pain. Seun is talking about the fact that charity should begin at home, and there is no way these players will get the exposure, the experience they need to be great players tomorrow if we don't call them up. Even if they're going to be on the bench, at least call them. Let them mingle with the Osimhens of this world, the Iheanachos of this world, Wilfred and Didi. And then if they have to travel abroad, better still, let them go with them. They don't have to play. But being on the bench, having to shake Metsi and all that, it's a plus for them. They come back home with a different mentality.
I would say we should ask ourselves, how much scouting has been done by Gennett Raw's coaching and scouting staff to figure out if these homegrown players are good enough? I don't think I've ever heard of Gennett Raw or even Yobo being at one of these matches.
The person who's supposed to be in charge of scouting and looking for these players is Yobo. But I can bet with you, I have not seen Yobo in any league match before.
Any league match.
Never.
But even then, obviously, when we look at countries like England, Southgate goes regularly to matches. No matter where in the world the matches are taking place. If there's a player that he believes he needs to see with his own eyes.
Do you know how many times Southgate has got to go and watch Sancho?
Yes.
In the
you don't. He doesn't know for a fact that whatever reports he gets from the scout is completely accurate to his own standards until he sets his own eyeballs on the player. So if Gennett Raw isn't going to these league matches in Nigeria, we can't expect him to actually make choices because he doesn't want to pick these players. So he doesn't want to watch what they're capable of. That said, I talked about this yesterday. The fact that NFF have been owing Gennett Raw so much money, 8 months salary. They have no leverage. No matter what the Minister of Sports and Youth Development says, Sunday Diary, he has no leverage to enforce the notion that he must pick at least 4 players.
Was this in their contracts before? I don't think so. Now, Seun Ajidagba, before I let you go, what should we expect from the Eagles against CAR today?
A convincing victory. But of course, it's Gennett Raw. Some will not be too sure. If we beat them 3-0, we should be very lucky. And I expect people like Taiwo Awoniyi to get game time. I mean quality game time. Since it's looking like Colonachi might not play. But you will not be surprised that the same general will go and put Awoniyi in the center defence to go and operate from there or right back. And I like what Mikhail just said about Joseph Yobo. He is the assistant. What is his job? Is it just to arrange goal or to be doing motivational speaking to the Super Eagles player? They are going to DR Congo, the home base players. You can't take them there. It's the technical advisor of the NSF that is taking them there in Ecuador. They are not serious as a nation at all.
So, Seun, before I let you go,
everything we are doing.
before I let you go, Seun, on a sad note, I'm leaving you on a sad note. We lost a senior colleague yesterday. He used to be the media officer of the Super Eagles at a point, Ben Alaya. Are we expecting the Super Eagles to wear black handbands today?
Well, I don't know, but you know, there's also a former assistant commissioner of police who also played for, I think, the Green Eagles. They call him Sunday Oyarekwa.
Yeah.
So I think that on that premise and for what Benjamin Alaya did, a gentleman par excellence, I feel that the Super Eagles players should wear black armband. At least they have two. They have a Sunday Oyarekwa who used to represent the national team before, and the former Super Eagles media officer, just in his honor.
Thank you very much, Seun. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Value.
Now, Football Australia have announced an independent complaints management procedure on Wednesday after recently retired international striker Lisa De Vanna said she had been the victim of sexual assault, harassment, and bullying during her career. De Vanna made her initial allegations in response to a Twitter post by Megan Rapinoe, in which the U.S. international commented on allegations of misconduct against a former North Carolina Courage head coach, Paul Riley. 36-year-old De Vanna, who played 150 times for her country over 2 decades, replied that she had witnessed women in the game abusing younger female players and organizations protecting the abusers. FA CEO James Johnson said he would investigate any abuse allegations, and Sport Integrity Australia would oversee an independent complaints process for former players and staff. Bukayo, I am saying this without fear or favor. Rapinoe and De Vanna should please, I'm saying this with due respect, shut up. And I'm saying this because Rapinoe did not come out to complain about these things until she retired. De Vanna is complaining now a week after she retired. She let it continue. She let it go on. Those young girls being abused on a regular basis, they let it go. They looked away because they were still playing football. And they were still being self-centered. They wanted to continue playing for the country. They didn't complain. Then they come out of come on retirement now, and then I'm saying those girls still in there are being abused. What were they doing when they were still in the team? They were captains of their team, the best players in their team. They looked away then they retire and start complaining on their behalf. Isn't it too late? The girls' minds have already been misplaced already.
It's issues like these are delicate to kind of maneuver. First of all, we have to remember the climate. When they were playing, the climate was a very different place. The Me Too movement created an environment where it was more open for women to come out and talk about it. And even now with a more open environment, the shame and stigma that goes along with these things aren't completely gone. Sometimes these women, no matter what area, no matter what aspect of society in which they suffer abuse, they feel ashamed as well as responsible. Questions are asked of themselves, by themselves, that did I do anything to facilitate or make it so that I was a victim of abuse? I don't want to say that they should shut up, because we need to hear all of what they have to say. We need to dig up all the dirty secrets, look into every closet and pull out every skeleton regarding these issues.
Well, this one is a good one. Juventus defender Giorgio Chiellini said he was ashamed as an Italian by the racist abuse directed at Napoli players by Fiorentina fans on Sunday. Napoli defender Kalidou Koulibaly, who is black, said he was abused by Fiorentina fans while his teammates Victor Osimhen and Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa were also targeted after their 2-1 win. Napoli retweeted Nigerian Osimhen's statement on the abuse while Fiorentina condemned the incident. Last month, prosecutors opened an investigation into the allegations of racist chanting by Lazio supporters, directed at AC Milan midfielders Tiemoué Bakayoko and Frank Kessie, while Juventus issued an apology after their women's team account tweeted a picture containing a racist gesture in August. Racism again. And our very own Victor Osimhen was involved.
You know, we've talked about Italian racism for a long time now, and the sport...
It's not going to go away.
The league has been plagued. And if you remember, no matter what you think of Balotelli, growing up in the game, he suffered a lot of racist abuse.
Even at home. There was a particular anthem by the Azzurri fans that said, "We have no blacks in Italy."
And he was their,
it was a song.
He was their main number 9. He was effectively the only number 9 at the time. He was undroppable. No matter his antics, he was the
and they were always singing,
most
"We have
talented."
No his own fans were singing against him, "We have no blacks in Italy."
So when I look at the impact that such upbringing within football in Italy had on Balotelli, I wouldn't be surprised if at a certain point all black people, no matter whether they're Italian or African by descent or other nationalities, refuse to play for or play in Italian football.
I don't know. Well, Mukail and I are always consistently talking on the show, talking about football being a very, very emotional game. Your emotions always tend to take over. This one, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. But when you watch it, you will tell me which side of the fence, whether you want to laugh or cry. Now, a Brazilian soccer player has been charged with attempted murder after he brutally kicked a referee in the head during a lower league game in the south of the country. The player, William Ribeiro of Sports Club Sao Paulo, attacked the referee after he awarded a foul against him during a league game away in Guarani. Now, the game was halted 14 minutes into the second half, while referee Rodrigo Crevlaro was taken to hospital. He was later released, and the attack took place on Sport Club Sao Paulo's 113th anniversary. This guy beat this referee, man, because he blew a foul against him. And he felt the only thing to do there was to beat the referee. He beat him to faint.
The lower leagues are famed for more unprofessional conduct than the higher leagues. And honestly, this story isn't surprising. We used to see stuff like this in Nigeria, in Africa, so much more. Football has gone so far now that no one expects it to happen, but it still does happen. When it makes the news like this and blatantly, you have to cry and laugh a little bit, because sometimes we've been watching matches at home and if a referee gives a foul that we as fans want to slap him for. So I can only imagine the level of emotion when testosterone is boiling, adrenaline is boiling, and a referee stops play to attack you with a foul, whether you believe you actually deserve it or not. And most times, I always say footballers are bigger liars than politicians. They never believe they deserve a foul. Every time someone goes down, their hands are up in the air. I didn't touch him. You can't prove it.
I still think that this guy deserves to get maybe, if possible, a life ban.
Yes,
if you beat a referee on the field of play, you're beating like the god on the field of play.
What I'm worried about is whether what has happened in the heat of the moment like this isn't going to not only destroy his football career, but also his life as a whole. Because attempted murder is a big charge.
True that.
And even though it doesn't carry the same penalty as murder, the fact is they have to prove intent. But intent can be proved in whether he reasonably should know.
Intent. Okay, we are watching it on TV. He kicked the guy in the head. The guy fainted.
Yeah, but did he intend to kill him? That's the point.
That kick in the head could have killed him.
He could have, but should he have known that a kick to the head would kill him?
He's a footballer, I'm sure he does. Plus Sports on a Thursday. We had Seun Ajidagba on the phone. Thank you very much, Seun Ajidagba. Of course, thank you very much, Mukail Tinubu.
It's fun.
Join us
being
same time tomorrow, same station, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.